How worried should we be? We need to be prepared and cautious. This is something we've been saying from the beginning of the pandemic. Not panic, because we're in a different situation today than we were at the beginning of 2020. We have tools, we know what to do, we know what works.
We are confident that individuals who have not only been vaccinated but also boosted will have sufficient protection. We have the ability to adapt the vaccine relatively quickly.
It's not something you can do overnight, but we will get data. I would have thought within a week as to whether or not the vaccines work or don't.
The pandemic could be with us for quite some time, and hopefully not completely stifling economic activity, but affecting our behavior in ways that contribute to inflation.
All of our planning around COVID, we have built into it the possibility of variants in the future. And so that is why we're maintaining levels of public health protections. It's why we've maintained requirements at our border, and it's also why we continue to have available to us what we call our alert level system.
And then we have made it clear, and ministers made that clear during the NATO foreign ministerial meeting in Latvia today, that Russia will then have to pay a high price. There will be serious consequences for Russia, and that's a clear message from NATO.
We are at a perilous moment in our democracy, and I remain very bullish on the possibility of us getting these bills passed. But that means we have to keep talking about it, and we have to keep amplifying the real effects of these laws. The ability to criminalize the act of voting, to criminalize election workers who help with voting, and the ability to subvert our elections, not only in 22, but absolutely in 24.
There will be, in the future, more summit gatherings for democracy. So for all the governments and peoples around the world who feel maybe slighted that they have not been invited as a participant, my suggestion is to double down on realizing democracy, so that maybe by the next round we will be sharing the same.
There are ways to give clarity without making long-term commitment, and I would err on the side of not making a very long-term commitment, because there is too much uncertainty. But equally, we need to very clearly indicate that we stand ready in both directions.
So absolutely important that we support multilateral trade and we don't take it for granted. A lot of people take this for granted, and you don't know what you have until you lose it.
So our ambitions in electrification are to make India the global electric vehicle hub.
We're open to partnership. I cannot disclose too much, but for sure second hand is there. Even if you don't want it, it's there. So you have to take this opportunity, and this is for me an opportunity to stay even more connected to the customer